Okay, what we would be learning today is components, and we would create our own components, and we would display those components in UI. So we would start with this thing. But prior to going to components, let us first try to understand how our Angular project looks, right? We'll also take a look at the project structure, right? What different things we have in our Angular project, right? So as you can see that in this left pane, this first is the name of my project. Then there is an E2E folder. Let's not worry about it, what it is. Another folder is node underscore modules folder. Now this node underscore modules folder, right, it contains all the packages which are downloaded via npm, right, in package.json file. So in our package.json file, right, we have various dependencies here, and we have various dev dependencies, right. These got inserted when we created a new Angular application, right. So these are the bare minimum things which are required as dependencies, right, for Angular, right. So what happens is that when you create a project, an Angular project, you get this package.json file, and it installs all these packages onto your machine, right. That is what npm init or npm install does. Okay, so these packages, whichever packages which are downloaded, they are stored in this node modules folder. Okay, so many times what happens is that if there is an issue with internet or some permission issue or some kind of issue, right, this node modules is not populated properly, or it does not have all the packages downloaded, right. So sometimes we need to take care of that. So we'll come to that later. Then there is another important folder. It is SRC. SRC is, you can say, it is for source code, right. So whatever 99.99% of changes which you do them in SRC, right. You do them all in SRC, right. Now this SRC contains a file index.html. This SRC, it contains file index.html, which contains this HTML tag, then head tag, and a body tag. Right now, Angular is a single page application. What we mean by single page application is that it will contain only a single page, and everything would be replaced at the runtime, right. So we'll come to that, what it actually means. You'll understand it slowly, right. But as of now, you can say that Angular has only one HTML file, which is index.html. Why I am saying this only one HTML file is because this is the HTML file which has HTML tags and the head tag. If you remember, I had stated that in any other HTML file, we will not be giving any HTML tag or head tag or even body tag, right. We would directly write different components or different elements of HTML. Right now, in this HTML file, what we have is we have an element which is app-root. Right now, what this app-root is, it is called as a selector. It is called as a selector, right? And this is the selector of the root component which is present in our application. Now, if you take a look at app.component.ts file, right, what you would see here is you would find this selector here, right. So whatever selector you give, right, you need to specify that selector in index.html. So Angular does it for you initially when you create a new project. So we do not need to write it manually. Okay. So this is what a selector is. So what would be the job of a selector? This selector, it will be used like an HTML tag, right, and it will be used to display. So what eventually happens is that everything, whatever you do, right, whatever logic you write, everything is inserted at this place inside this body tag, right. That is what happens internally, and you can see your application. Okay, so keep this thing in mind. Okay, then there is an index.html, there is one style.css where you can have all the global styles By global styles, what I mean is you can write your own classes here and you can use those classes anywhere in that application. That is what it would mean, right? Every component also has its own style, that is own CSS files, right? So you can override these global styles in your CSS files, individual component CSS files. Okay, so next is inside this SRC, there is an app folder. Now this app is the root folder of your application. Right? It is the main folder of your application. That is, everything starts from this app. You can always say that. And anything that you do, right, would always be done inside this app folder. Keep this thing in mind. Right? Then we'll come to app later today. Then we have an assets folder. Now, generally, whatever images you have, right, you can store these images in this assets folder. So, just in case if I forget, right, just remind me that we also need to display an asset today, right? That is an image today in our application. We'll do that today. Okay. Then let's come back to an environment. It is generally used for, you can say, whenever you are doing a production build, you'll use environment, or if you are calling an API, right, external API, or if you wish to connect to the server, you can use this environment and specify the base URL. Now, it is not mandatory, but having this is a good for professional way of coding. Okay. Now let us come back to our app folder. Now, if you can see, right, app folder has five files here. Out of this spec.ts file, this is specifically used for unit testing. So we are not covering unit testing now, right? So we'll not focus on this file, right? We'll focus on the remaining other files, right? So let us first come on app.module.ts. Okay. Now in app.module.ts, you can find this ng module decorator here, right? Or you can also call it as an annotation. So in general, whatever starts with @ it is called as an annotation, right? It is very widely used in Java as well, right? When you use some Spring library or something, you will find heavy use of this annotations, right? In general, this annotation is nothing but pre-processing, which is done before a class. In general, right? This is not the exact definition, but at least in this particular case, this ng module would be something as a preprocessor, right? Now, if you observe this ng module carefully, right, this ng module, right, it is like a function, means it has a parenthesis. It starts and ends with a parenthesis, right? And inside that parenthesis, what it accepts is a JSON. Inside that parenthesis, what it accepts is a JSON, right? Inside this JSON, we have 3 or 4 important keys. First key is declarations, right? Inside this declarations, we have its value is an array, right? The key is declaration, whereas its value is an array. And inside that array, I am just specifying the name of my component. So currently, our component is an app component, which we are specifying here. Second key which you find is an imports, right? So whatever module, other modules, if you need to import, you can import them here, right? I will come to what exactly a module is, but before that, just let us try and understand the structure, right? So we have a declarations key and its array, imports array. Then we have a providers array. Generally, this is used for services, right? And we have a bootstrap. Now this bootstrap again is internally it has been filled by Angular itself. In the same way, this declarations array has also been filled by Angular itself, right? We'll come to them one by one, right? So our today's focus, right, would be on this declarations array, right? So we'll always keep checking what keeps happening in this declarations array, right? And after that, we only have a very simple class, which is app module, right? Nothing is happening in this. Now, a very, very important thing to note, which is that Angular, right, on a top level, Angular application, it is composed of one module, right? A top level module, which is app module. And inside this app module, there can be many child modules, right? So how is the hierarchy? Hierarchy is that we have a parent module, which is app module, and inside that app module, we can have n number of other modules. We can create different modules. And module, you can simply think of module like a package in Java, or you can also think of a module like a folder, right? And inside folder, we have different subfolders, right? So we have a big folder, and inside that big folder, we have small folders, right? In each folder, we can have different files, or we can have other folders as well, right? So this hierarchy follows, right? Then each module, right? Each module contains components. Each module can contain component. It contains other files as well, other things as well. But as of now, right, we would only think that it contains components, right? So we have app module, and inside app module, right, what we have is app component, right? And we can have other modules as well, right? And we can also have other components as well, right? So there are a few rules that we need to uh, say look into. What is the rule? That first rule is that one component can be part of one and only one module. So you cannot have one component part of multiple modules. This is a very simple rule, right? So keep this thing in mind. This is a very important rule, that one component can be part of one and only one module. Then one module can contain multiple components. This is the second rule. One module can contain multiple components, but one component can be part of one and only one module, right? And the third rule, one module can contain multiple child modules. Now bear this thing in mind, right? What are the rules? Rules are one component can be part of one and only one module. One module can contain multiple components. In the same way, one module can contain multiple child modules. Is it clear as of now? These rules, especially these rules, right? Remember these rules very well, right? What is the first rule? One component can be part of one and only one module. One module can contain multiple components, and one module can also contain multiple child modules. Is it clear? Okay. Okay, let us again reiterate the rules. What are the rules? One component can be part of one and only one module. One module can contain multiple components, and one module can contain multiple child modules, right? This is the rule. Okay, now let us look at a component. Now a component, right, it is composed of three important things. One is the HTML file. As we can see, we have app.component.html, right? Now this file, it's something, you can call it as a view. View means whatever would be displayed on the screen would be the contents of this file, or according to this file. That is what we have in the view, right? Then we have a TS file. Now this TS file is the center of every component. Now this TS file has different data members. It can also contain member functions. We'll come to them. But as of now, this TS file has various data members. So whenever you create a component, whenever you would create a new component, what would happen is you will have these three files. One is a TS file, similar to app.component.ts. One would be a CSS file, which would be used for the styling of that particular component, and one would be an HTML file, right, which would be your view. Right, now let us look at this file app.component.ts. Right, now first we take an import. We import a component from Angular core. This is standard. It is always required. Right. Then we use that decorator or that annotation @ component. Now, if you look at again this annotation, it is again like a function. And what does it accept as a parameter? It accepts a JSON object as a parameter. Now, in this JSON object, right, you have three keys. One first key is the selector. This selector is something which we would be using. This selector is something which we would be using in HTML to display that component. Right. Second is a template URL. Now this template URL, it simply tells that okay, this component, app component, it has this file, that is app.component.html file, right, which is my view, right? And then the third key is style URLs. It is style URLs, right? Keep this thing in mind. So you can have multiple CSS files inside this app itself. Just in case if you want to, you can just have a comma separated like this, right? You can always use that, but I haven't used it ever. I mean, generally it is not required, right? But you can always use that, right? So keep this thing in mind as well. So you can have, these are the three keys which are passed on to this @ component decorator, which you also call as annotation, right? Then we have export class app component, and inside this app component we can declare data members and member function. Now class would have the similar properties like any other class. It would contain data members and it would contain member functions, right? But understanding this thing is very important, especially the selector part, right? What is the job of a selector? If you remember that we saw this selector, it was present in the body tag, inside body tag in our index.html file, right? Okay, so let us take it forward. Now what we are going to do is we would be creating a new component, right? And we'll call that component as, let us say, movies, right? So to do that, what I would do is, right, I'll open my command prompt. I haven't opened it till yet. I'll go to my drive. I'll go to Angular and first, right? The very first thing I'll do is I'll do an ngserve. What will this do? This would simply open my project or run my project, right? I'll open another command prompt, right? So that I don't need to cancel the ngserve every time. So I'm just opening another command prompt and I'm again navigating to my folder. Right, now inside this folder, that is inside my project folder or the root folder of my project, which is first, I will generate a new component. Now to generate a new component, right, there is a command. It is ng, then we say generate, right, then we say component, and let us call that component as movies. So I am saying ng generate component movies, and I'm pressing enter. So let's see what happens. Right, so it printed something and it generated a component. It was successful. It did not give you any error. Now let us see that what happens in our project structure. Now, if you can observe this app folder closely, you would see that there is a new folder movies, right, which is created inside this app folder. If you expand this movies, right, what you would see is you would see a CSS file, movies.component.css, then an HTML file, movies.component.html, then a spec.ts file. We are not using this file, and a movies.component.ts file. So, as I always said, that a component will have a view, which is HTML, then a controller part, which would be TS, which will contain your component class, and then it will have styles in CSS. Right. So generally a component would be composed of these three things. Right. Now a component cannot exist without TS and if you wish to use that component in your UI, then it cannot exist without your HTML. Okay. This is my application map. Right. Now, if I open the movies.component.html here, right, what is written here? Simply movies works. Now, this is something default which Angular has provided. It writes movies works. Now, you can write your code here. But as you can see that nothing is displayed on the screen of the movie. We have just created the component, but that component is not usable. Means this HTML part, which is movies works, it is not present anywhere. Now what I will do is, right, I'll open the TS file of this component. So I opened movies.component.ts. Now in this, what we saw that we have a class movies component, and it implements an interface which is on init interface. Let us come to this on init interface later, right? We would be using that pretty later, right? But as of now, it also has a constructor. Now, in general, right, what we have seen in say Java or in C++ is that the name of your constructor it's same as that of your class, and you call it special member function, right? But in this case, right, we just call it constructor, and it has only a single constructor, right? You can always have parameters in your constructor, right? तो वो ज्यादा तामझाम नहीं है constructor का, right? Then you have your annotation or the decorator, which is @component decorator. Now in this decorator, you have a selector which is app-movies. Then you have a template URL which specifies the HTML, and then you have a style URL which specifies the CSS, which this particular component, that is movies components, it would be using. Right. Now to display this component, right, what would be displayed if at all we get it working? Then what would be displayed? This movies works, this text would be displayed. Right. Now what I'll do is I'll use this component. Now this component is a child component of app component itself or app itself. One important thing to note is, let us open app.module.ts. Now, as you can see in your app.module.ts, right, we imported that component. Angular did it for us, right? And we have used this movies component inside the declarations array. It is very important to note this, that whenever right, a component is created, right, that component to be usable, it has to be part of one or the other module, right? So as I said, that one component, it can be part of one and only one module, right? So how to make a component a part of a module, right? We will do that by adding that component or the name of the class of that component in the declarations array. That is how we would be using that component, right? So who did that? Angular did that for us, the command line tool of Angular. So what happens when you type this command, ng generate component movies? What will happen? First, right, 3 files would be created, one TS, one CSS, and an HTML. And it also said to you that an update in app.module.ts file, right? So it will import that component here and it will add it to the declarations array. That is what happens when this command is run, ng generate component movies. Okay. Right. Now, to use this component, what I will do is I will use its selector. what is the selector? The selector is app dash movies, right? So what I'll do, I'll go to app.component.html, right? And after this h1 tag, I will use this selector. How to use it? Use it like an element. I'll say app dash movies. I'll close it as well and I will save. Now let's see what happens. What you got here is, you got here movies works, right? So that is how we displayed our component. Now what I am going to do is, I am going to remove everything from here. And I'll only keep this component which we have created, app dash movies. Right now, if you look at it, what we are seeing here is only movies works, because my app.component.html does not have anything. It only has a selector which is app dash movies. Now this selector is as if we are having, or we created an HTML element called as app dash movies. That is what we have done. Now let us do something in this movies component. What I'll do is, I'll copy, I guess we have created a movies array. Yes, we have created a movies array here. Right, I'll just copy it from here and I'll go to movies.component.ts. And inside movies.component.ts, I'll declare this data member movies. I've declared this data member movies, right? So this movies, it is an array, and inside this array we have two movies, that is two objects of movies, right? And in movies.component.html, I'll remove this movies works thing, and what I'll do, I'll use an ng for, right? And I'll say star ng for equals to let m of movies. Right, and here I would use say an h1 tag, and I can give m dot name, right, and I'll use say h3 tag, and I'll say m dot actor, and I will save it. Right, so if you can see, we got the data of our movies displayed, right? If you just add one more movie, we have PK and actor say AK. Right, we should see three movies here. Right, now it depends upon how much your data is. In that way, this would be created or it would be displayed. Is it clear up till now? Is it clear yahan tak? What did we do? We created a component, right? And we used that component using the selector, right? It is a very simple thing that we have done. Created a component and used that component using a selector. And whatever data, whatever things we do or display in our component, those things would be visible. Right? Now, the next thing which we would do is, we will create another component here. Right, I'll call it, instead of movies, I will call it say students, because we have students. Right, I would display the component students here. So what is the command? I would say ng, then generate, then component, and then students, and I'll display it. I'll press enter. What is going to happen? There will be a folder called as students created inside app folder, right? Then that there will be three files, important files, a .ts file, a .css file, and a .html file, right? Then there will be an update in the app.module.ts, and inside app.module.ts, right? In the declarations array, we will have another component. If we take a look at app.module.ts, inside declarations array, we will have this students component as well, right? How will I use the students component? I'll go to app.component.html. After app.movies, I would say app.students, and I will save it. So I should get the movies, and after that student works. Why student works? Because in the HTML file of student component, there is only this thing, which is student works. We can take a look at it. Only student works. Now what I'll do is, I'll remove the students from here, and I will go to student.component.ts, and inside that I'll just create this data member called as students. And in my HTML file, I'll remove this and I'll use a div, right? And inside div, I will have star ng4 equals to let s of students. Right. Then I can have h3. I guess we have name as dot name. What else do we have in student? Name, college, address, and mobile. So I'll have h4. I'll call s dot college, right? Then I'll have h5, right? In this, what do we have in h5? We have address. I'll say uh, s dot address dot city, right? And I will use, let's say, another div, right? Inside this div, I will use ng4 star ng4 equals to, I will say, let m of s dot mob, right? And inside this, I would simply display in a p tag, I'll bind my m. Right, so I got the student, I stay in Paris, and I have two mobile numbers. Vaishnavi stays in New York, she has three mobile numbers. Is it clear? Okay, okay, so that is good. Right, now, as of now, right, we have only displayed the information. As of now, we have only displayed the information, right? What we did not do is, right, we did not have any button where if we click on that button, something happening or something of that sort. So what we would have is, right, we will create two buttons somewhere here, right? One button would be movies and other button would be students, right? So if you click on movies, right, you should be able to see only the movies component. And if you click on दूसरा कौन सा है students, right, you should be able to see only the students component. That is what we will do, right? And ngIf would play a very good role here, right? And also we will try and understand that how to handle a button click. We will also try and understand how to handle a button click, right? Okay, so let me come to my app.component.html. Now inside my app.component.html, right, I will use a button tag, right? And I'll call it movies, right? And I'll use another button tag and I'll call it students, right? And I save it. right? What you can see is we can only see two buttons. One is movies, one is students. Now these buttons, they are useless until we specify some action to it, right? So as of now, what we will do is we will create a member function inside our component class, right? So I'll remove all the data members here. Right, and what I will do is, right, I will create a function show movies, right, and here I'll simply say console.log show movies, right. In the same way, I'll create show students. Now this is a function, right, and here I would say console.log show students. Right. So what I have done is uh, two. I have created two functions. One is show movies, and other one is show students. That is what I have as of now. Right. Then I will create a Boolean data member here. Right. So let me call it. I'll say show movies. Right. I'll give a colon, or I'll say show movie. Name conflict nahi hona chahiye. And I'll say Boolean. Right. And I will say equals to true. Initially, I just assigned it to true. Right. And what I would say here is, if you click on show movies, I would say this dot show movie equals to true. And here I would say this dot show students equals to, sorry, this dot show movie equals to false. So what have I done? I have created a Boolean variable called as show movie, right? Initially, I have assigned it to true, right? Now to access any of the members, that is data member or even member functions, right, of a class, we need to use the this keyword, right? So I am accessing this show movie using the this keyword. That is what I am doing, right? So what did I do? That if this show movie function is called, right, then I would set the show movie variable, Boolean variable to true. And if the show students function is called, I would say that this show movie is false. Right. Now, what we need to do is we need to call these functions on the button click. Right. So if I click on movies button, if I click on movies button, it should call show movies function. If I click on students button, it should call show students function. Right. As of now, we have not done anything so that this click of this button would be handled. So we need to ensure that we are handling the click of this button. Right. Now to do that, we'll go to our HTML file because our button is in HTML. And here, right, what I'll do is inside this button, right, I'll use an attribute which is click attribute. I'll say click equals to, right, and I will call the function here show movies. Right. Similarly, right, on this button, I would say click equals to, and I would say show students. Right. That is what I have done as of now. Right. So if you take a look at it, right, nothing is happening here. Right. Even if I am clicking on movies, nothing is happening. Students, nothing is happening. But if I inspect, right, and if I see the console here, right, what you would see is you will see the console.log statements. I'll clear this console and I'll click on movies. I got show movies. If I click on students, I would see show students. So what it means is that this function is getting called. If I click on show movies, it prints show movies on the browser console. And if I click on show students, it shows show students on the browser console. That is what it does, right? Along with this, it is also doing or changing the value of this data member, Boolean data member, which is show movie. So when you click on show movie, right, this data member becomes true. And when you click on show students, this data member becomes false. Now we can use this data member, right, inside our ng if, which we did yesterday, right, or in our last class. So what I would do is, I would say star ng if equals to show movies, show movie, right? And here I would say star ng if equals to not of show movie. Now, what is going to happen is this show movie is initially true. So when the first time this page comes into picture, this show movie data member, it would be true, right? And if you click, or if this function is called, it would become true. Show students is called, it would become false. Now let us have a look at this. What are we seeing here? Right, we are only seeing the movies. Why are we only seeing the movies? Because initially this data member show movies, it is true. Right, now if I click on students, what happened? It called this show students function. And in show students function, what have we done is in our HTML file, right, we have used ngIf. Right, in ngIf, if my show movie is false, this function would be shown. And if my show movie is true, this element would be shown, this selector would be shown. Right, so that is how we just wrote a very simple, right? This is how the tabs would work going forward. Is it clear? Is it clear yahan tak? Others, Harshal? Sajal, yes. Darshan, yes. Okay, good. Right. Now what I will do is I will use another component. Right. I'll call it, let's say, I'll create another component. I'll call it cities. I'll generate that component. What is going to happen? One folder called as cities would be created inside the app folder. Right. Then inside that folder, we'll have HTML, one TS, and one CSS, and update would be done in the app module.ts, and in your declarations array of your app.module.ts, right, we will have this component registered, right? Now, in this cities component, in component.ts, what I'll do is I'll create an array. Right. I'll say city name, say Nagpur, and maybe population 40 lakhs. Then I'll have name, say Amravati, population, say 20 lakhs. And in my HTML, what will I do is I'll remove this, then I'll use a div, right? Inside I'll give star ng4 equals to, and I would say let C of cities. And here, what will I say? I will say, sorry, I'll use some tag, let's say h3, and I'll give it a name. I'll give C dot name, and I'll use another tag, say h5, and I will give C dot population. Right? Will the cities be displayed? No, they will not be. Why? Because we have not used its selector. Now to use its selector, what will I do? I will go to app.component.html, right? And I'll simply use app dash cities is the selector. Right. So as you can see, we got the cities and their corresponding population. Right. Now, if I click on students, the cities would be displayed below the students. If I click on movies, the cities would be displayed below the movies. There is no ng if involved in this case, right? Especially for cities, right? Now, if I need to create another button here, right? Let me write another button here, right? I'll say button, and inside this button I'll call its name as cities, right? Then I'll use a click equals to, and I will say show cities, right? And in my ds file I'll create this function. I'll say show cities, right? And I would say console.log show cities. Now this console.log is optional, right? It is not compulsion to do that. The only thing is that it will help us in identifying whether that function is called or not, right? So let us check. Yes, we got cities, and if I click on cities, I get show cities. Now there is no change to students or movies because the cities does not involve any such functionality. Now if I click on students, I'll see students, movies, I'll see movies. Now if, right, if I need to ensure sorry, if I need to ensure that uh, if I click on cities, only cities would be displayed. How will I do that? Now my Boolean variable is not going to play that role. Why is it not going to play that role? Because Boolean can only be true or false. It cannot have three values. Boolean can only be true or false. It cannot have three values. That is the reason you cannot apply the same logic here. Right. So what will we do? We will tweak the logic. How will I do that? I'll create, say, a variable called as display. Right. And I'll use the data type string. Right. And I will call it movies. Right. And if I click on show movies, right, instead of this dot show movie equals to true, what I'll do is I'll say this dot display equals to, and I'll say movies. If I click on show students, what will it say? It will say this dot display equals to students. And in case of show cities, what will I say? I will say this dot cities equals to cities. This dot cities name, this dot display equals to cities. Right. Now in my HTML file, in my ngIf, instead of using this Boolean variable show movie, what I'll do is I will be using the string variable display, and I would say ngIf display equals to in single quotes, I will call movies. I will say movies. Right. In this case, I would say display equals to students. And in this particular case, I will use star ngIf equals to display equals to cities. Right. And let us check if it works. It worked. Right. Now, if you apply proper CSS, this can work as your tab layout. Right. Generally, you have tabs and you can display those tabs. Is it clear यहाँ तक? Okay. Okay. Great. Now, what we are going to do is we'll just reiterate whatever we have studied till now, or whatever we have studied today. Right. First, what did we see? We saw the project structure. What is the project structure? The project structure is, it's pretty simple, right? That we have src, inside src we have app folder, right? And inside app folder we have the files for app.component.html, .ts and .css. Then we also have app module, right? What is that file? That file is app.module.ts. What does app.module.ts have? It has a class app component, app module. And before app module, right, what is there before app module? There is a decorator, or you can call it annotation, which is ng module annotation. Now, what does this ng module annotation accept as a parameter? It accepts a JSON as a parameter, right? What does this JSON contain? As of now, we can see that this JSON contains 3 to 4 arrays. One is declarations array, right? One is imports array, one is providers array, and one is bootstrap array. Right. Now, what does this declarations array contain? Declarations array contains all the components which are present or which are registered in this module or which are part of this module. Imports contain other imports. We'll come to imports later, right? Then providers and similarly bootstrap, right? Providers, again, we'll come to it later when we look at services. Right, so this is the structure of app.module.ts. Then what else did we see? We saw a few rules. What were the rules? The rules were that one component, it can be part of one and only one module. Right. Then one module can contain multiple components and one module can contain multiple child modules. Right. So we haven't looked at child modules or anything of that sort. Right. But what we looked at is that one module, it can contain multiple components. So we have this app module, and inside this app module, we created 3 components. One is the cities component, one is movies component, and one is students component. Right. Then how did we display those components? We displayed those components using the selector, right? App movies. Then what did we do? We also learned the click handler, right? So to make any button work, what you need to do is you need to use this click event, right? You can call it event, right? It is fondly, or it is appropriately called as an event, right? Because clicking of the button is an event, right? And any UI is an event driven programming. So whenever you click on the button, what happens is we are calling some function. Now let us say that instead of show movies, I say show movies 1 and I click on save. Right? What would happen? Since we do not have any function called as show movies, it should show us an error. If I click on movies, right, it is giving me an error. What is it saying? That show movies 1 is not a function. So if you encounter such an error, right, ensure that you have the names specified correctly. This is a very common error which you probably might get many times, right? So ensure that you have the names written correctly, right? So I'll again move it back to show movies, right? So we generated our own components. When you generate your own component, we call them as custom components because you have created them, you have customized and you have created those components, right? Then we use those components using selector, and also what we did was we created 3 functions and we applied the click handlers to those functions on the buttons, right? Is it clear?